My name is Maya Collins. It's been 8 years since my family last said it out loud. And even now, it still feels like they only remember it long enough to erase it again. Most mornings, I convince myself it doesn't matter. I brew my coffee, I lead meetings, I close deals. I stay productive. Existing without asking permission became my specialty. But that morning, something slipped through. Subject: Collins Family Reunion 2025. RSVP required. I wasn't included, not accidentally, not forgotten. I simply wasn't there. I should have deleted the email and moved on. That's what I usually did. Instead, I checked something else. Driftwood Cove Estate, the family's coastal villa. The one with my initials carved beneath the bedroom sill. The one tied to every childhood memory that still ached. It was quietly listed for sale. No phone call. No family vote. No signature from me. That's when it hit me. They weren't just moving on. They were erasing me. Before I tell you what I did next, before I show you the clause they overlooked, the paper trail they never expected, and the moment I made them say my name again, pause for a second. If you've ever been erased by the people who should have protected you, you already understand what comes next. Because silence isn't peace, it's permission. Let me show you what happens when you stop waiting to be invited and start holding the keys. Sunlight shimmered beyond the glass walls of my office, stretching lazily across the water below. Clearwater Bay mornings always looked calm enough to lie to you. Inside the 14th floor of Northbridge Strategy Group, everything ran like clockwork. Glass desks, muted voices. The quiet confidence of people who knew they belonged. At least here I existed. I leaned back in my chair, sipping coffee from a chipped ceramic mug that read, "Precision beats noise." A gift from Olivia Reed, the one person who never forgot birthdays, never minimized pain, never pretended absence was a choice. My eyes drifted to a recessed shelf beside my desk. A turquoise seashell sat there, untouched for years. Its spiral was flawless, dulled only by time and dust. A birthday gift from when my grandmother used to braid my hair and call me her bright mind. Now it sat forgotten, like me. Then my screen chimed, routine email, or so I thought. Collins Family Reunion 2025 RSVP. The message was cheerful, casual, decorative banners and smiling fonts, no greeting, no mention of my name. Just a spreadsheet attached below. Confirmed, pending, declined. I scanned once, then again, slower. Rachel, Thomas, Evan, Claire, but not me. No typo, no variation, no mistake, just absence. The familiar pressure returned, sharp and breath-stealing. I'd expected it. That didn't make it hurt less. My phone buzzed. "Olivia, please tell me you're seeing this nonsense." She sent a screenshot. A family group chat. Rachel Collins. "Let's keep things peaceful this year. She's not coming." Claire Collins. Agreed. Less tension. I read it twice. I used to be a daughter, a niece, a sister. Now I was a liability. I set my mug down carefully, as if even the smallest movement might crack something open inside me. "Not this time," I whispered. Opening a new tab, I typed slowly. Driftwood Cove Estate, private listing. There it was. Glossy photos, curved staircases, sunlit decks soaked in salt and memory. Then the last image stopped me cold. My old bedroom window. I didn't hesitate. Schedule private tour. Click. Some people scream when they're hurt. I search records. The storage unit smelled like dust and pine cleaner. Fluorescent lights flickered overhead as the metal door groaned open. I hadn't been there in 4 years. The same year, I stopped waiting for birthday calls that never came. Boxes lined the walls, labeled, untouched. At the back sat an old cedar trunk beneath a tarp. Inside, photographs, journals, ticket stubs. And then I saw it. A smaller turquoise shell, brighter than the one on my shelf. Not a replica, the original. Etched beneath its curve were tiny letters, M, C, Age 9, my grandmother had pressed it into my palm after my sandcastle collapsed and whispered, "Even broken things belong somewhere." Beneath it lay an envelope, my name written carefully across the front, Maya Collins. Inside was her handwriting, steady, deliberate. The letter wasn't just memory. It was instruction. Behind it sat a legal document. Revocable Trust Agreement, Margaret Collins Clause 4. 2. If the estate remains unoccupied for more than 16 consecutive months, or tax obligations are neglected, full ownership transfers to my granddaughter, Maya Collins. My name was already printed beneath successor beneficiary. The silence sharpened. This wasn't revenge, it was fulfillment. By mid-afternoon, I sat across from Daniel Price, a property attorney in Harborline City. He read quietly, then nodded. "It's solid. If they contest it, they'll have to explain 5 years of unpaid taxes, deferred maintenance, and why none of them legally assumed responsibility." He slid the papers toward me. "If no dispute is filed, the title is yours in 12 business days." I signed. That night, my apartment glowed softly while the city buzzed below. The booking dashboard loaded. Every room at Driftwood Cove Estate was reserved for the reunion except one. Ocean Front Master Suite available. I clicked reserve. They controlled the guest list for years. This time I owned the venue. "Please ensure the bottle of vintage champagne is chilled and delivered to the Oceanfront Master Suite by 6:30 p.m. on June 21st. Address it to M.S. Collins." I stared at the message for a moment before adding one final line. "And please update the foyer signage. Welcome home." I clicked send. Almost instantly, Olivia's message appeared. "You're really doing this?" I wish I could see their faces when they realize. So did I. I whispered softly, barely louder than breath. Let's see how they react when they have to say my name just to stay. Another email arrived. Reservation confirmed. Driftwood Cove Estate, full ownership verified. Access granted. I leaned back and let the quiet stretch around me. They had removed me from the list. Now I controlled the door. When the cars pulled into the circular drive, the sunlight washed everything in gold. The ocean air was clean and indifferent, unaware of the tension thickening inside the black sedan. Rachel stepped out first, her heels striking the stone sharply. Claire followed, shielding her eyes as she admired the villa's sleek lines. Evan came last, duffel bag slung over his shoulder, earbuds still in. Across the courtyard, Olivia leaned casually against a sculpted fountain, phone angled downward, already recording. Inside the lobby, a receptionist in a fitted blazer glanced up politely. "Welcome, how may I help you?" Rachel adjusted her sunglasses. "We're checking in. Collins family reservation." The receptionist tapped her tablet, paused, then frowned slightly. "I'm sorry. I don't see that name authorized for check-in." Claire stepped forward, her voice smooth with practiced authority. "Claire Collins, this estate was booked for our family reunion." The screen refreshed. "No guests under Collins are cleared for access." The receptionist repeated. "I can double-check." Rachel laughed lightly, edged with irritation. "There's a mistake. This is our family's property." Olivia zoomed in silently. Before anyone could respond, a silver SUV rolled into the drive with deliberate ease. The driver stepped out and opened the rear door. Maya Collins emerged. The ocean breeze caught the hem of her tailored coat as she climbed the steps. Her expression wasn't smug. It wasn't cold. It was steady, sharpened by certainty. From the side corridor, the property manager approached. "M.S. Collins," he said, inclining his head, "we've been expecting you." Maya nodded, her gaze passing calmly over the frozen trio. She slid a sleek black key card across the counter. The system chimed, "Welcome, M.S. Collins." The receptionist said, "The Oceanfront Master Suite has been prepared to your specifications. All secondary access permissions have been updated." Rachel stared. "What is this?" Maya stepped closer, her voice quiet, precise enough to sting. "If you'd like to stay in my house," she said evenly, "you'll need to ask properly." No one spoke. The sound of waves outside felt unnaturally loud. Claire opened her mouth, then closed it. Evan shifted his weight, eyes fixed on the floor. Olivia captured everything. Maya turned away without another word. The private elevator doors slid shut behind her. The lobby remained silent. The courtroom smelled faintly of old carpet and stale coffee, the kind of place where time waited patiently. Reporters murmured. Phones buzzed. Anticipation hummed. Maya sat alone at the defense table. No entourage. No second chair, just a black binder and her name on the docket. Maya Collins vs. the Collins Estate et al. Across the aisle, Rachel leaned toward Claire, eyes darting. Claire sat rigid, jaw tight. The judge entered and took his seat. "Let's proceed." The opposing attorney rose. "Your Honor, we allege MS. Collins acquired Driftwood Cove through undue influence. Our clients believe her late grandfather lacked full capacity when control was transferred." Maya didn't blink. Her attorney stood calmly. "We have no arguments, only evidence." He tapped the embedded screen. A video filled the courtroom. Grainy but steady. It showed Margaret Collins seated on the villa's porch years earlier. Older, slower, but unmistakably clear-eyed. "If this house outlives me," she said softly, "it belongs to the only person who came without asking for anything. She brought coffee, she listened, she let me be." The room held its breath. She understands what can't be inherited. Silence followed. Then Olivia stood and handed over printed messages. The judge read aloud, "She's difficult. Better to keep her away. If we say she manipulated Grandma, who's left to argue?" The words echoed. Maya sat still. They had erased her once. This time, the record remembered. A wave of gasps moved through the courtroom. Even the local news intern froze, fingers hovering over the keyboard. The opposing attorney stumbled. These messages were private. They were submitted voluntarily. Olivia Reid said clearly, under oath. The judge leaned back in his chair. "Enough." His gaze settled on Rachel and Claire, not with anger, but with the cool assessment reserved for things already decided. "I see no evidence of coercion," he said. "Only resentment dressed up as morality. The recording is dated, authentic, and coherent. The messages submitted by the plaintiffs speak louder than any claim made today." He paused, then added quietly, "This court finds no fraud. What I see is a granddaughter honoring her grandmother in a way the rest of you failed to." Rachel cracked first. A sharp breath, a tremble. Then her composure collapsed into sobs she couldn't stop. Claire said nothing, lips pressed tight, as if silence might still undo the ruling. The gavel fell, final. Outside, press lights flickered like an aging marquee. Maya Collins walked past them without slowing. No smile, no statement, no glance back. Behind her, Rachel sat slumped on a bench just inside the courthouse, mascara streaking her face. Claire stood beside her, hands folded, waiting for something that wasn't coming. Olivia lifted her phone. One photo, no filter. She posted it with a single caption. "Some silences are earned." The next morning, the house was quiet. Sunlight spilled across warm wooden floors as Maya moved barefoot through the hallway, the hem of her robe brushing softly behind her. Outside, the ocean breathed in steady rhythm. She poured herself green tea. No sugar, the kind her grandmother used to tease her about. "This tastes like boiled leaves," she'd joked once. Today, it tasted like closure. She didn't walk through the villa like someone clinging to memory, but like someone ready to reshape it. The first thing to come down was the hallway portrait. Perfect smiles, perfect posture, and no trace of her. She replaced it with a framed photo of the ocean horizon. No people, no posing, just motion. The second frame held a younger version of herself at 17, windblown and laughing. Her grandmother stood beside her, handing her something small. Wind chimes. She found them later in the cedar trunk. Driftwood and copper rings, tarnished but intact. She tied them to the balcony beam. They chimed immediately, uneven, imperfect, real. An hour later, Olivia arrived with white lilies and an easy smile. "They're not congratulations," she said. "They're for peace. Meyer accepted them. That's better." They sat together in quiet, sipping from mismatched mugs. Below them, the sand lay untouched. No suitcases, no forced reunions, no apologies demanding acceptance. Olivia scrolled briefly. Evan moved out of state. Rachel changed her number. Claire deleted everything. Maya nodded, not curiosity, but release. "Perfect." Olivia tilted her head. "If they knock again, would you open the door?" Maya didn't hesitate. "No need. I'm not inside anymore." The sentence settled like punctuation. Eventually, Olivia hugged her once and left through the side gate. Maya stayed on the balcony. She didn't post. She didn't call. She just listened. The wind chimes sang softly. For years, they had erased her quietly, from invitations, from photos, from the version of the story they told themselves. For years, she believed silence was the cost of peace, until she realized peace doesn't require disappearance. They never expected her to rise, not because she couldn't, but because they believed she wouldn't. That's how power blinds itself. They controlled guest lists, group chats, and narratives, but they forgot one truth. Erasing someone doesn't remove them from history. Maya didn't fight with noise. She fought with records. With timelines, with evidence. She didn't demand apologies or staged reconciliation. She built a space where her dignity wasn't questioned and her name wasn't optional. When the courtroom echoed with her grandmother's voice, it wasn't just a legal victory. It was remembrance. And when they stood silent, locked out of a house they once hoarded, Maya didn't gloat. She walked away. Because real power doesn't perform. It ends the performance. If you've ever been left off the list, not by accident, but by design, you already understand. Silence doesn't protect you. It erases you. And sometimes, the strongest thing you can do is stop asking for space and take back what was always yours.